What do you do if you feel overwhelmed? Feeling overwhelmed is such a common emotion. We have a lot of things on our mind. We have a lot of things to do, a lot of homework, a lot of things at work, a lot of things with your business that you just got started with. So many things in your head. And you feel so overwhelmed about it. What do you do? The first thing I want you to understand is that it's your fault. And now you're like, what? It's my fault? You don't understand what I'm about to say. It is your fault because at the end of the day, you're giving that emotion a lot of power. And what most people do with overwhelm, with these stressful emotions, right? I feel overwhelmed. I have a lot to do. I can give you an example literally of myself this week. I was super overwhelmed because of the company that I just got started with. I had a lot of calls with people. I had a lot of meetings, a lot of things to set up. I was overwhelmed. I experienced this myself. And this is, again, reminders to myself, to my future self as well. And I'm going to go into my story, but kind of backing up a little bit. What I was trying to say is that we give overwhelm, stress, a lot of power. So I was saying it's your fault because you're turning into a victim. You are pinpointing not at yourself, but you're pinpointing at the schoolwork. You're pinpointing at the work that you have to do. You're pinpointing at your to-do list, the big ass to-do list that you have to. You're saying it's that fault. I have a lot to do. I'm overwhelmed because of this. I'm overwhelmed because of YouTube. I'm overwhelmed because of my business. But what you fail to understand is you actually are the person who creates the overwhelm. It's all in your head. You are the person who decides to feel overwhelmed. And I know it sounds weird and you're like, what is he talking about? Yes, think about this for a second. You are the person who decides to feel that emotion. Who takes all the environment, the data, right? This is what your brain does. It takes all the environmental data and decides, I choose to be overwhelmed. So what you have to do is kind of, first of all, before we go in depth, is you have to change that thinking. It's not school that's making you overwhelmed. It's you. Stop feeling like such a victim, right? We like to pinpoint at other people, at other things, and it makes us feel better. And actually, back to the story that I was saying, I did this week, and I was overwhelmed with kind of the work, the company that I started. And I was pinpointing it at the company, at what I have to do, at a million things, etc. And yeah, you can argue there's a lot of things to do, so maybe it's that. But at the end of the day, you're a person that decides what emotion you want to feel. I know it sounds weird because maybe you're not in depth or so much into self-improvement yet, and you don't understand what I'm saying. But this is true. You have complete control over your emotion. And I think, actually, this is almost soothing. Because if I were to tell you, oh, you don't have any control. Actually, overwhelm is caused by environmental factors like school and work, and you actually can't control it, and you can't do anything about it. You'd be like, what the hell? You want to feel complete control over your life, and that's honestly what anyone wants. And so when you revert that, when you're like, yeah, I'm choosing to feel overwhelmed. Yeah, there's a lot of things, but I'm choosing to feel overwhelmed. No one's forcing you to feel overwhelmed. You can have a million things and be stoic about it and think for a second, let me take it one by one. Let me stop for a second, take it one by one. I don't have to feel overwhelmed. I could take a deep breath. It's not that bad. This is exactly what I'm teaching you, right? You revert that. You don't let the external thing take control over you. You are in the position of power and you decide, I'm going to have complete authority over my thoughts and decide that I'm the person who causes this overwhelm and I don't want that anymore. It's not the school. It's not your teacher. It's not your work. I know it sounds backwards, but it's 100% true. It's you. And that's very soothing because now you're in a position of power. You're in a position of 100% control. You can decide how you feel. I can have a million things to do. I can have 100 things on my to-do list. Like, yeah, that could be overwhelming. But I choose to be completely just present, calm, grounded, cool, collected. That's super, super powerful. Imagine that for a second. Maybe you've never experienced that in your life and you want to experience that. It's super, super powerful. And it all starts with a mindset shift. And this video is kind of like a mindset thing. It's that, yeah, you want more control of your life. I think people just turn themselves into victims these days so much. They like to feel like they can blame it on this. I blame the government. I blame society. I blame this person. I blame this organization. I blame this. Bro, you have 100% responsibility over your life. And that's super, super powerful. And I don't know about you, but I love that thought. I love that thought that I have 100% control of my thoughts, of my emotions, of my life. I am responsible. It's super, super powerful when you completely change that. You cross out that victim mindset. School is making me overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. No, I'm the person who's making myself overwhelmed. Super, super powerful. So what happened this week, as I said, as I hinted a little bit, I had a lot of things at my company. So a lot of meetings. I'm trying to hire a few people. So it was a little bit overwhelming. And actually I was talking to my mom and I caught myself in this act. I was like, Mom, it's so overwhelming. There's so much work to do. There's so much things to do. So much this, so much that. And then I thought about this. And that's why I'm teaching you this video. Because again, I'm also a learning lesson. I'm also a learning in progress. I don't know if that other sentence made sense. I'm also a learning. This is the thing with unfiltered videos, right? I could just spit out some random shit that makes no sense sometimes. But you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say that I'm a learning in progress person as well. I also learn like you. I'm also human, and over time I learn and I make mistakes. And this is partly why I'm here. I'm documenting my journey, and that's what I hope to do with these videos. Document my journey, where I'm at, to help you. Because I'm not perfect. I know I'm on YouTube. I know I'm on self-improvement. I know it seems maybe like I'm perfect. Everything is 100% perfect. It's not. And that's why I'm here, to share that with you. Because I caught myself talking to my mom and saying to her how overwhelmed I feel. And again, it's not a bad thing, but it is a bad thing if you're blaming other things. I was blaming this thing, this work, this thing I have to do. Like, yes, your external things you can have a lot of external things to do. You can have a million things on your to-do list, but you have complete control over how you feel. Whether you take it in, those million things, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to break it one piece at a part. Slowly, I'm going to be present with this to-do list, this task, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to do the second one. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to do the third one. And this is actually a method, right, that you can use when you feel super overwhelmed. Number one is don't blame the external thing. Decide that you're going to take complete control over it. And number two, take it slowly. Break it into pieces. Take it one step at a time. Try to be as present as possible as you could be with that one task. Finish it 100%. Do your best with that one task. And then complete the second one, the third one. The reason why we get so overwhelmed, and you can probably relate, is because we're thinking about step 100, step 1,000, when we didn't even start step number 1, right? You think about the 7,000 things that you have to do with your business, with this, with work, with school, how am I going to study for that test? I have a million things to do. But you have to take it slowly, one step at a time. You're thinking too ahead. You're thinking about step 1,000 when you didn't even open your textbook yet. You didn't even start studying. So take it one step at a time. This is such a good reminder, whether you feel overwhelmed right now, maybe in the future, if you feel overwhelmed in the future, such a good reminder to take it one step at a time and just literally be present with every single task. And don't think ahead. Don't think about the 7,000 thing that you have to do tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, I'm doing this 100%. Like me now, I'm doing this video 100%. I'm not worrying about what else I have to do tomorrow or this or that. 100%, right? That's a great, great way to take worrying out of the equation. Plus, I hope this mindset shift helped. I hope it gave you new light. And I hope you don't feel overwhelmed. And don't blame other things. Don't be a victim. Take responsibility of your life. This is what it means to be a man. A man is a person who takes responsibility over things in his life, who's not blaming, right? A pussy blames other people, blames society, blames this thing. You're not like that, right? So I hope this video helped, bro. Click down below. There's a Discord of other young men leveling up. I'm there as well. I hope to see you there soon. Peace, bro.